Welcome to Bilingual English Learning Channel.
Listen to the English words, with the relaxing flame and the sounds.
Afterward. Happening after something else happened. Amongst. In or through a group. Artistic. Being able to paint, write music, etc. Creative. Backward. Toward what is behind you. Bodily. Physically, as when lifting someone. Carrier. A company, usually an airline, that carries things. Collective. Formed by working together as a group. Computation. The act of calculating, method of computing. Continuity. Continued existence, fact of not stopping. Definite. Not likely to change, clearly decided. Freely. Living, existing without being controlled. Generalization. Making a statement about a group from limited data. Generalize. To apply a particular idea to a large group. Goodness. Nourishment, good food value. Historically. Throughout history. Importantly. In an important way. Interestingly. You'll find this surprising, in an interesting way. Locally. Concerning the area around where you are. Machinery. Machines in general. Marker. Something that is easy to recognize or identify. Meaningful. Having importance, showing someone's intention. Namely. That is to say, specifically. Nationalism. The spirit of love of your country, for example, leading to war. Neat. Not messy, clean and orderly, simple and effective. Nicely. In a pleasing way, in a polite way. Noisy. Full of noise, loud. Outer. On or around something. Painful. Causing or feeling physical pain or hurt. Pardon. To excuse. Parental. Concerning, or provided by, a parent. Partial. Not complete, being only part of something. Partially. In part, in some degree, not wholly. Photographic. Concerning the art of making images with cameras. Planner. Notebook for recording appointments or things to do. Problematic. Being difficult to deal with or fix. Readily. In a quick and easy manner. Realism. Accepting things as they are, not as you want. Realistic. Looks or appears real, like things really are. Rewrite. To write again to improve or correct errors. Ruler. Someone who has control over a country or area. Sexuality. Characterized and distinguished by sex. Simplify. To make something easier to do, use or understand. Sometime. At an unknown time in the future. Specialty. The specific area of your field. Subset. A small set which is part of a larger set. Supposedly. As some people believe, shows you doubt it. Systematic. done in a thorough, logical or planned way. Terribly, to an extreme degree, badly, very. Thickness, the distance between the opposite edges of a thing. Underneath, below or beneath something, under. Unemployed, being without a job, jobless. Whichever, whatever one. Whoever, whatever person, any person at all. Accent, a way of speaking that shows your dialect or class. Actively, doing things to achieve a specific goal. Adaptation, changing to a new form, thing that is changed. Adaptive, able to adjust to new conditions. Apple, hard round red or green fruit with a white center. Authority, people in positions of power able to decide things. Availability, being present and able to be used. Bang, to strike something loudly or forcefully. Bat, object used for hitting a ball in various games. Blank, being empty, not filled out with no writing on it. Bleed, to lose blood because of an injury. Bound, to go to a specified place, to jump. Broadly, in a general, not detailed manner. Bucket, open container with a handle used to carry liquids. Calculation, process or result of using mathematics. Calculator, a small electronic device used for calculation. Characterization, the way someone or something is described. Cheat, to act in dishonest manner to gain an advantage. Cheers, a toast used when raising your glass to drink. Clever, showing intelligence, quick to understand or learn. Clip, a metal holder used for keeping things together. Clue, a piece of information that helps explain a situation or provide a solution to a problem. Commentary, explanation or discussion of a written work, event. Commonly, typically, normally, not unusually. Comparable, being similar in some way. Complication, action making something harder to do something. Conditional, depending on. Connector, a device that joins things together. Conscious, aware of what is going on around you, not knocked out. Consciousness, being awake. Container, an object that can be used to hold things. Correction, a change to make something right. Correctly, in an accurate or correct manner. Cure, a medicine or treatment that makes an ill person become healthy. Detection, the act of discovering something or solving a crime. Developmental, concerning the development or growth. Directive, formal an order from an authority. Disturbance, a noise or something that stops you from continuing what you were doing. Economically, in an efficient manner without using too much effort. Economist, a person who studies economics. Enormously, extremely, by a large amount. Equality, the idea that all people have the same rights. Flip, to rotate or turn something over. Ghost, spirit of a dead person appearing to the living. Hedge, a fence made with small trees, avoid or try to avoid fulfilling. Identification, card or paper that proves who a person is. Incredible, very hard to believe. Incredibly, extremely hard to believe. Indicator, an instrument that shows conditions in a machine, such as temperature, speed, pressure. In chemistry, a compound that changes color in the presence of an acid or a base. Individually, in a way involving only that person. Industrialization, process of creating and developing many businesses. Industrialize, to make into something at an industrial level. Inequality, situation where things are not equal, fair. Influential, having the power to cause change, having influence. Instability, not stable, changeable. Intensity, great energy, strength, or concentration. Intensive, needing great effort for a short period of time. Interrupt, to cause something to stop happening for a time. Interviewer, a person who asks questions to obtain information. Junior, someone lower in rank. Kilometer, a metric unit of length equal to 1,000 meters. Lab, laboratory, a place to do scientific experiments. Likelihood, the chance that something might happen. Lump, a small hard part of something smooth, soft, or continuous. Mathematical, concerning numbers and equations. Memorize, to study something so that you remember it. Minus, prep being less than 0 in number. Monkey, an animal related to humans, which lives in trees. Nasty, very bad, unpleasant, or offensive. Nest, the home of a bird or spider. Observer, someone whose job it is to watch or notice things. Occurrence, specific instance of something happening. Periodic, happening regularly but not frequently. Physically, in a manner related to the body. Plug, an electrical connector to fill or close tightly so liquid or air cannot pass. Politically, in connection with government matters. Positively, definitely or certainly. Presume, to think that something is probably true. Processor, a machine or company that prepares something and makes it ready for use. Productive, doing a lot of work and achieving a lot. Productivity, rate at which something is made or that people work. Progression, process of developing over time. Progressive, believing in modern ideas about social change. Projection, an image on a screen. Pronounce, to make the sound of a word or letter with your voice. Punch, to make a quick hit with a closed hand. Punish, to make someone suffer for bad behavior. Punishment, the act of punishing someone. Purely, for no other reason, only and completely. Quotation, words that a person has said or written in a play, book or movie. Ray, the lines of light coming from an object. Reactive, easily reacting to, responsive. Reactor, device to control nuclear energy as a power source. Recipe, directions for making something. Reliability, a quality that makes someone or something dependable and deserving of trust. Replacement, the act of putting something new in the place of something that is old, broken or missing. Resistant, not affected by something. Ridiculous, something that deserves laughter, is foolish or funny. Rope, a thick string made by twisting many fibers together. Rub, to move something back and forth along a surface. Selective, choosing through thoughtful comparison. Separately, not with another person or thing. Separation, a line that separates, a point of parting, a gap. Similarity, the degree to which people or things are the same. Slavery, noun, the state of being a slave. Snake, an animal with a long thin body and no arms or legs. Socially, being with other people. Specification, a detailed description of the design and materials used to make something. Spray, to make water or liquid fly in very small drops. Stabilize, to make something stable or consistent with no major changes. Standardize, to change something in order to make everything the same or make everything agree. Sword, a long metal weapon with a sharp point and edge. Tech, short for technology or technician. Tempt, to make someone want something even if it's bad. Tense, stretched tight and stiff. Traditionally, something done in a customary or traditional manner. Tricky, difficult to do or deal with, something that needs skill. Unstable, likely to move from its position or fall. Variability, statistics, degree scores depart from the mean. Variance, statistics, amount of difference in distributions. Variant, thing that differs from something of the same kind. Wisdom, knowledge gained from experience in life. Absorb, to take in a liquid, soak up. Absorption, process of being absorbed, for example, liquid, attention. Accelerate, to increase the speed or rate of something. Acceleration, increase in the speed or rate of something. Accumulate, to gather or acquire so that you have more of it. Accumulation, the act of getting or becoming bigger or more over time. Accuracy, being exactly right, correctness. Accurately, exactly and without any mistakes, correctly. Acid, sour substance that reacts with metals, for example, lemon. Acidic, containing acid. Admission, the act of taking responsibility for an error or mistake. Adolescent, teenager developing into an adult. Affirm, to state, strengthen or support a belief you have. Agriculture, the science of farming. Alien, person or creature from a planet other than Earth. Alliance, a group of people or organizations being joined or associated. Allocate, to distribute or set apart for a plan or purpose. Allocation, the distribution of items set apart according to a plan or purpose. Approximate, about, not exact but close. Approximation, something that is similar but not an exact copy. Archaeology, the study of ancient societies by looking at old tools, bones and buildings. Architect, person who designs and advises on buildings. Aspect, an element, feature, or quality of something. Assembly, a group of machine parts forming a tool or machine. Assert, to state or declare your ideas positively strongly. Assignment, a duty that you are given to do, especially in the armed forces. Athletic, fit and strong, physically capable. Atom, smallest bit that matter can be broken down into. Atomic, concerning atoms. Audit, to examine carefully for accuracy. Bacteria, the very small creatures that sometimes cause disease in humans and animals. Bacterial, concerning or caused by bacteria. Bargain, something bought for a lower price than expected. Beam, a long piece of metal or wood, a line of light or energy. Behavioral, concerning the way people act. Candidate, a person who is selected by others as a contestant for an office or honor. Cattle, cows or bulls on a farm. Circulate, to go round continuously. Circulation, the movement of blood through the body. Civilization, a highly developed society. Clarify, to state again so that a point is clearer. Client. Person paying for professional services. Clinic. Local medical center, department of a hospital. Colonial. Of a system where one country controls another. Colony. Country or settlement controlled by another country. Communicative. Talkative, cooperative in giving information. Communist. Believer in communism. Compensate. To give money to as a form of correcting a loss. Competent. Fully qualified or capable of doing. Composer. A music writer. Conceive. To think of or create something new, for example, idea, child. Conception. An idea or notion, the first stage in pregnancy. Conceptual. Characterized by concepts or the forming of concepts. Conduction. The transmission of heat, electricity or sound. Conference. A meeting or series of meetings for discussion and exchange of information. Confine. To keep something or someone within a limited area so it cannot escape. Consent. To agree or allow to do something. Conservation. The management of land and water in ways that stop it from being damaged. Conserve. To keep safe. Constitution. A law determining the fundamental political principles of a government. Constrain. To make someone do something by strong persuasion or force. Consultation. A discussion between people to make a decision. Consumption. How much is spent on things, the process of eating and drinking. Continent. One of the very large areas of land on Earth that are usually divided into several countries. Contradict. To disagree, to say the opposite is true. Contradiction. The act of saying that something is not true or very different. Contradictory. Containing information, statements, or beliefs that do not agree with one another. Controversy. Strong public disagreement about something. Coordinate. To bring order and organization to something, in maths any of the magnitudes that serve to define the position of a point or line by reference to a fixed figure or system of lines. Coordination. Organizing people or things to make them work together effectively. Correlate. To show the relationship between two items or events. Correlation. A measure of the relationship between two variables. Correspondence. Communication by letters, emails or text messages. Corruption. Actions that are illegal or morally questionable, often performed by a person in a position of power. Criteria. Standard used to make judgments or decisions. Critically. In a way that is serious or dangerous, vitally. Crystal. A solid formed by the solidification of a chemical. Curriculum. Group of related courses in a school or college. Cyclic. a series of regular and repeated actions. Damp, a little wet. Deliberately, in a careful, considered manner. Demonstrator, person who shows how something works, for example, product. Dense, very thick and difficult to see, get through. Depict, to describe someone or something. Derivative, something that has developed or been obtained from something else. Dictate, to speak while another person or computer writes the words down. Dimensional, having parts that extend in a number of directions. Disability, a condition that limits a person's ability to do something. Discharge, to release someone or something. Discourse, talk, conversation. Discrimination, the ability to recognize the difference between things, treating different groups of people unfairly. Distribution, in statistics, an arrangement of values showing frequency of occurrence. In engineering, the way in which the fuel-air mixture is supplied to each cylinder of an engine. In commerce, delivery of products or services. Diverse, very different from each other. Dominant, strongest. Domination, authority, rule, control. Dose, an amount of medicine to be taken at any one time. Drain, a pipe that removes water or other liquids. Drift, to move slowly. Effectiveness, the degree of how well something works or is done. Elaborate, to be made or done with great care or with much detail. Elevate, to make something higher. Elevation, the height of a place. Elimination, the act or process of removing or being removed. Elite, important people of high status. Emergence, the process of emerging, coming out. Emission, a substance, for example, gas released into the air. Emit, formal, to release or send out a gas, etc. Enforcement, the act or process of making sure that rules are followed. Essentially, basically, primarily. Estimation, judgment, opinion, guess at the value of. Evident, plain, clear. Evolutionary, concerning evolution. Execute, to kill someone, usually as an official punishment. Execution, killing a person as a usually legal punishment. Explicit, definite, clearly stated, specific. Explicitly, clearly, specifically. Exploit, to use something or someone selfishly or unethically. Fabric, cloth. Facilitate, to make an action or process easier. Faculty, the teachers in a school or college. Fertility, the state of a female being able to produce young. Fiber, a thin thread-like part of an animal hair or plant tissue, an artificial thread, body cells that form muscles and nerves, a food substance. Flesh, the soft parts of the body. Flexibility, the quality of being able to be bent or stretched. Formally, in a formal manner, officially. Formulation, the development of a plan, system, or proposal. Founds, to be based on, started or created by. Fundamentally, in a basic and important way. Genetically, caused or controlled, or by genes. Genetics, the scientific study of genes, how living things develop between generations. Globalization, international spread of something, for example, company. Goods, general term for things that are bought or sold. Grasp, to grip something firmly with the hands. Gravity, the force that makes things fall down towards the ground. Gross, total amount, extreme or unreasonable. Hip, the upper part of the leg. Ideology, ideas or beliefs which form theory and policy. Immune, not affected by something, such as a disease. Impact, a striking effect or result to hit with force. Independently, in a manner being free from the control of another. Inevitably, happening with complete certainty. Infect, to give someone a disease. Infectious, capable of causing infection by the spreading of a bacteria or virus to others. Initiate, to start. Initiation, a formal entry into an organization, position or office. Inject, to put medicine into someone with a syringe. Injection, a way to inject a drug or another substance into your body. Insert, to put something in something. Instinct, the natural way a person or animal thinks or behaves, knowledge that is not learned. Integration, act of bringing things together into a whole. Interact, an action that is answered by a reaction, verbal or physical. Interfere, to get involved in the business of others without invitation. Intervene, to get involved, to prevent trouble. Invasion, an entry into a place for the purpose of taking control. Irrelevant, not important, not related to the topic. Justification, a reason or fact that explains why something happens or exists. Lecturer, a junior teacher in university. Legend, old story generally believed, although not proven. Legitimate, being reasonable and sound. Liable, legally responsible for something. Logical, sensible, reasonable. Magnetic, having the properties of a magnet, being able to attract. Manipulate, to control something or someone. Manipulation, the act of controlling something or someone. Manual, needing the use of physical strength or work, a book of information or instructions. Marginal, very small, on the edge, not important. Mechanic, a person who looks after machinery. Mechanical, using or having to do with machines. Media, means of communication, TV, newspapers, internet. Merge, to cause two or more things to become combined into one. Methodology, system of practices or techniques to show how to do tasks. Migrate, to move from place to another to live or work. Migration, the process by which people or animals move to another place. Missile, a weapon usually thrown, shot or launched. Mobility, the ability to move. Modification, a small change to a machine, system, or plan. Molecular, about or caused by molecules. Molecule, two or more atoms chemically combined. Morality, beliefs or ideas about what is right and wrong. Mortality, the quality or state of being human and being able to die. Motive, a reason for doing something. Myth, a popular belief that is false or unsupported by fact. Naked, not wearing any clothes, without covering. Neutral, not involved, without strong feeling, without electrical charge, not acidic or alkaline. Objection, reason for not supporting or agreeing with a plan. Obtain, to be given or to earn something through efforts. Occupation, a career or regular job. Oral, by mouth. Organ, large wind instrument similar to a piano. Orientation, the ability to locate oneself in your environment with reference to time, place, and people. Peasant, a person of low social status, usually who works on a farm. Philosopher, a person who studies ideas about things such as the meaning of life and truth. Philosophical, concerning philosophy. Powder, a dry substance made up of very small pieces. Practitioner, a person working in a profession, such as medicine. Precede, to go before. Prediction, a statement of what will happen next. Probe, a system or piece of equipment that is used to get information. In medicine, a long thin instrument used for looking inside your body. Profound, showing a lot of deep knowledge or thought. Prominent, being important or well known. Psychiatric, concerning or used in psychiatry. Psychologist, an expert who studies the mind and behavior. Psychology, the study of the mind and how it affects behavior. Publish, To prepare a book, journal, magazine and make it available. Puzzle. A problem that requires thought and skill to be solved. Quantitative. The describing or measuring of quantity. Radiation. Energy that is radiated or transmitted in the form of rays, waves or particles. Randomize. To arrange in a random order. Randomly, with no pattern or clear purpose, by chance. Rational, sensible, based on facts. Rationality, being able to think clearly. Reconstruct, to rebuild something after it has been destroyed. Regime, a system of management, a form of government. Reinforce, to strengthen. Rejection, the act of refusing to consider or believe something. Render, to cause someone or something to behave in a particular way or to enter into a particular condition. Reproduce, to make a copy of something. Reproduction, the process that produces the next generation. Republic, a country governed by elected representatives. Resemble, to be similar to someone or something in looks or manner. Revolutionary, a significant change in something. Rhythm, a pattern of sound and beats in music. Ritual, performed as part of a formal ceremony. Scatter, to make things separate and go in different directions. Sensible, having the ability to judge something reasonably. Sensitivity, being sensitive, in physiology, the ability of an organism or part of an organism to react to stimuli, in electronics, the ability of a radio device to react to incoming signals. Shortly, quickly, soon. Simultaneously, at the same time as. Sin, a bad act, to do something bad. Sophisticate, to make more complex or refined. Sponsorship, money given to a student to pay for education. Statistical, about statistics. Statistically, with respect to statistics. Statistics, a type of mathematics that provides specific information or proves something. Strategic, concerned with strategy, well thought out. Strictly, restricted to something. Substitution, a person or thing acting or serving in place of another, to put a person or thing in the place of another. Subtle, difficult to notice, understand, or see. Sufficiently, to a degree great enough to do something. Suicide, the act of purposely killing yourself because you no longer wish to live. Superior, better, higher quality. Sustainable, capable of continuing for a long time at the same level, does not damage the environment. Swell, to become larger than normal, often because of injury. Symbolic, representing a larger quality. technically, in an exact and particular manner. Theorist, a person who forms new ideas. Thereby, by that means, because of that. Ton, a unit of weight equal to 907 kilograms. Transaction, an exchange. In business, this usually involves money. Transformation, a complete change in shape or form of something. Translation, changing from one form to another. For example, changing from one language to another. Transmission, an electronic signal that has been sent by radio waves, a force that has been transferred from one machine to another. Transmit, to broadcast by using electrical signals to a radio or TV. Treaty, an agreement between nations. Tremendous, having great size, excellence, or power. Tribe, a racial group united by language, religion and customs. Ultimate, happening or coming at the end of process, final. Unity, being in full agreement, being joined together. Utility, being useful, a public service such as gas, water, or electricity that is used by everyone. Vague, not clearly stated. Valid, sound, just, well-founded. Validity, how true something is. In statistics, the ability of a test to measure what it is intended to measure. Virtue, a good quality. Weave, to make something by crossing threads over and under each other. Activate, to make something start working. Acute, strong, very serious or severe. Adjacent, being close or near to a border, wall, or point. Adverse, negative or harmful. Aesthetic, concerning the sense of artistic beauty. Aluminum, very light silvery white metal used to make cans. Ancestor, a person from your family that lived in the past. Anthropology, the study of human origins and the development of society. Array, a large group of people or things, a regular order or arrangement. In maths, a series of figures. Arrow, a symbol to give direction, a long piece of wood shot from a bow. Articulate, to express something clearly using language. Artificial, not made by people, not created by nature. Auction, to sell to a person offering the highest price. Audio, concerning sound. Autonomy, the power to make independent decisions. Barrel, a round container with curved sides and flat ends. Basin, a sink, a place in a bathroom to wash your face. Biologist, a scientist who studies living things. Biology, the study of living things. Bizarre, odd or strange. Bonus, extra money for achieving, exceeding target. Bubble, a small ball of air inside of a liquid. Bulk, big size, largeness, heaviness. Bullet. Metal object fired from a gun. Bundle. A group of things that are tied together. Calcium. A substance important for human and animal health, particularly for making bones and teeth. Campus. The site of an institution, such as a university campus. Capitalism. Economic system based on private ownership of money. Capitalist. One believing in private ownership of money. Censor. To remove parts of a book, film or letter for moral, religious, or political reasons. Chemistry. The study of the structure of substances. Chronic. Over a long time, serious. Chunk. A large bit of something, thick lump. Cinema. A place for showing movies. Classification. Putting similar items into groups or sets. Classify. To arrange things into groups of similar items. Clay. Heavy, sticky earth used to make pottery. Click. To press a computer mouse to do something on a computer. Clone. To make an exact copy of a living thing. Closure. The act of closing something. Cognitive. The process of knowing and remembering. Coherent. Of language, ideas, logical and well organized. Commodity. Something useful or valuable, usually for sale. Compact. Packed together, closely united, small. Comparative. Expressing a difference in degree. Competence. Ability to do something in a fully satisfactory way. Complement. Something needed to complete or make perfect. Comply. To act in agreement with another's wishes, to obey a rule. Comprehension. Ability to understand. Configuration. A shape or outline, a method of arrangement. Consensus. A decision that is shared by most of the members of a group. Contrary. Different, opposite. Cord. A long, strong material, thicker than string but not as thick as rope, an electrical wire. Credibility. Quality of being believable or deserving of trust. Critique. A review of the quality of a work. Crude. Basic or made without skill, such as a crude drawing. Deadline. A date or time before which something must be done. Decay. To be slowly broken down by natural processes. Defect. A problem, a fault. Deficiency. Without something that is necessary. Dependence. Relying on someone for financial support. Destination. The place one is traveling to. Diagnose. To determine the cause of something, for example, an illness. Diagnosis. A judgment by a doctor about a person's illness. Diagram. A drawing intended to explain how something works. Diameter. The distance across the center of an object. Diary. Blank book in which you write what you did each day. Dictionary. a book with the spellings and meanings of many words. Differentiate, to see or show a difference between things. Differentiation, a discrimination between things as different and distinct. Dilemma, a position in which a person must make difficult choices. Dioxide, an oxide containing two oxides per molecule. Disadvantage, a negative point, a downside, difficulty. Displacement, the act of taking the place of something or someone else. Dissolve, to melt into a liquid so that a substance mixes with the liquid itself. Domain, a field of action, thought or influence, an area of knowledge. Donor, a person or group that gives gifts or money to help support an organization or cause. Duration, the length of time that something lasts. Dynamic, always active or changing, in physics, a force related to motion. Ecological, concerning the environment, plants, or animals. Electron, a negatively charged particle. Elementary, basic, simple, or essential. Emperor, man who rules an empire. Empirical, based on observation or experiment. Entity, something that is real. Essence, the most important part or quality of something. Ethical, morally right or wrong. Ethics, the moral principles, standards, and rules for deciding what is right and wrong. Exit, a door that you go through to leave a place. Expertise, the special knowledge that an expert has. Fever, a high body temperature. Fluid, a material that can easily flow. For example, water. Forum, meeting where people can openly discuss a subject. Fossil, a plant or animal that has become rock after many thousands of years. Fraction, a part of a whole. Fracture, the result of breaking a hard material, a crack. Fringe, the edge of something, such as the decorative edge on a piece of clothing. Fusion, when different styles, ideas or designs combine to form something new, in physics, when atoms combine to produce nuclear energy. Gauge, a tool used to measure things. Goat, small animal with beard and horns. Graph, image expressing numerical data in lines or shapes. Grid, a metal structure with bars that is used to cover a hole. Gut, the parts inside a human body, animal body, or a machine. Habitat, the natural place or type of place where a plant or animal lives. Harvest, the time of year to bring crops in from the fields. Hierarchy, a system for organizing people or things according to their importance. Horizon, the line where the earth or sea meets the sky. Horizontal, flat or level. Hormone, a chemical produced by the body to control some function. Hydrogen, the lightest of all chemical elements, has no smell or color. Illusion, an image that seems real but is not real. Implicit, not stated directly. Impulse, a sudden desire to do something that is not planned. Incidence, the rate that something happens. Incline, a slope or surface that rises uphill. Inclusion, act of including, person, thing that is included. Indifference, a lack of enthusiasm or interest in things, seeming not to care. Indigenous, living or growing naturally in an area, not brought from somewhere else. Indirect, having a path that is not straight or direct. Induce, to cause, to persuade. Inference, an opinion that you form based on information you already have. Infinite, without an end. Informal, not official, not done by the rules. Inhibit, to make it difficult for a process to start or continue in a normal way. Inhibition, the process whereby nerves can retard or prevent the functioning of an organ, the act of blocking or holding back. Insect, a small animal with 6 legs, such as a bee or ant. Integral, part of something. Interface, a shared boundary between two persons or systems through which information is communicated. Interval, the distance between 2 points, numbers or times. Invade, to enter a place with an aim of taking control of it. Jazz, a type of American music known for its energetic beat and parts that musicians make up as they go along. Leaf, the green part of a tree or plant. Leisure, time when you have no work to do and can relax. Lever, a handle that one pulls to operate a machine. Likewise, in the same way, in addition to. Limb, leg, arm or wing. Linear, made of lines. Linguistic, belonging to language. Linguistics, the study of human languages. Liver, a large organ in the body that helps to absorb food and clean the blood. Loop, a round shape. Lung, an organ used to breathe. Magnitude, size or importance. Manuscript, a document, a piece of writing. Marble, a kind of stone, metamorphosed limestone. Matrix, a substance, situation, or environment in which something has its origin. In math, an arrangement of numbers in rows and columns. Maximize, to increase or become as large or great as possible. Mediate, to bring about an agreement between persons or groups, act as a helper. Metaphor, a figure of speech based on analogy. Mineral, a substance naturally formed in the ground. Minimal, the smallest possible. Minimize, to make something as small as possible. Momentum, speed or force that is gained when something moves. Monetary, concerning money, often referring to a country's economic system. Monopoly, complete control of the market for a service or product. Multiply, to increase greatly in number. Necessity, something that you must have or do. Noble, having personal qualities that people admire. Nonetheless, in spite of that, nevertheless. Nonlinear, not in a line. Norm, an established standard of performance or behavior. Obscure, not famous, unknown by most people, not easy to understand. Optical, concerning vision or helping people see. Organism, living thing, often one that is small. Outlet, a way for something to be released, a pipe, hole or wire through which gas, liquid or electricity flows. Overhead, located above your head or in the sky. Overlap, to lie over or cover a part of something else. Oxygen, a gas in the air that has no smell or taste, and that all animals need to breathe. Paradox, a saying that seems contrary to popular belief, but which may be true. Parameter, a characteristic or constant factor, a limit. Particle, a very small piece of something. Peripheral, not connected to the main or important part of something. Physician, a medical doctor. Physics, the study of heat, light, and other forms of energy and how they affect objects. Plural, refers to more than one person or thing. Polar, concerning the areas near the North or South poles. Portfolio, a list of the financial assets held by an individual or other financial institution. Portray, to represent something or someone in a particular way, often for artistic purposes. Portrayal, the way that something or someone is represented in a book, film, picture or other context. Poster, a large printed notice or picture. Predator, an animal that feeds itself by killing and eating other animals. Predominantly, in a way that is larger, greater or has more power than others. Prejudice, an unreasonable hatred for a group of people, usually a race or a religion. Preliminary, before. Prevalence, widespread, common, general. Prey, an animal that is killed and eaten by another animal. Primitive, being of an early time period in the past. Proposition, an idea, a suggestion. Protocol, a set of rules. Computers use protocol so they can exchange information. Pulse, beat of the heart. Questionnaire, form used to get information from many people. Rack, a frame, stand or hook on which things are set or hung. Realm, the area ruled by a king or queen. Regression, going back. In statistics, a type of correlational procedure that focuses on predicting the values of an outcome based on its correlation with another variable. Rehabilitation, a scheme to help someone who has been ill or in prison to return to a healthy, independent, and useful life. Residual, concerning the last little bit after the rest has gone or ended. Residue, left over after part or most is taken away. Retrieve, to find and get something from somewhere. Rhetoric, the study of public speaking or writing techniques. Robot, a mechanical creature that acts like a human. Rotate, to move or turn around a central point. Rotation, movement in a circle around a central point. Scenario, an outline, an imagined sequence of events in a plan or project. Scholarship, money given to a student to pay for education. Seminar, a small class at a college or university. Sensation, a feeling that is experienced by the body, usually through the sense of touch. Shallow, not deep, a small distance between the lowest and highest point. Simulate, to look, feel, or behave like something, to copy. Simulation, a copy, a method that is used to study and analyze the characteristics of the real world. Sketch, a drawing made quickly that lacks detail. Skip, to not do, to jump. Slot, a long narrow opening into which you put or fit something. Sodium, a soft, white chemical element. Solar, concerning the sun or its heat. Span, the amount of time something lasts. Spatial, about space. Specimen, an example of something, especially of a plant or an animal, a small amount of blood or urine. Spectrum, the wavelengths of colors from red to violet. Sphere, a round 3D object. For example, a ball. Spontaneous, something that happens on its own, seemingly without cause. Stack, to put one thing on top of another, for example, books. Stadium, very large building with a sports field and rows of seats all around that is used for various events. Stance, a position or opinion that is stated to the public. Stereotype, an idea or belief about what someone or something is like, often unfair or untrue. Stimulus, something that makes a change. Straightforward, easy to do or understand, not complicated. Strand, something that is plaited or twisted as a rope-like length. Stripe, a long, thin part of something which is a different color from the parts beside it. Subjective, the use of personal feelings and opinions, rather than facts. Surgeon, a doctor who performs surgery. Surplus, extra, more than is needed. Syndrome, a group of signs and symptoms that accompany a disease. Synthesis, building something complex from simple parts. Terminal, the end of something. Thesis, a long essay, a position taken in an argument supported by a set of reasons. Thread. A long, very thin, soft material used to join or make cloth. Threshold. A level or point at which something would start or stop happening. Thumb. The short, thick finger on the side of your hand. Toxic. Poisonous, harmful. Trait. A characteristic. Transcription. Something written. Transplant. A medical operation in which a new organ is placed inside a patient's body. Trauma. A very severe or upsetting experience. Triangle. A closed shape with 3 straight sides. Tropical. Hot and humid, near to the equator. Tumor. A mass of abnormal cells that develops when cancerous cells divide and grow uncontrollably. Tutor. A teacher. Undermine. To weaken or destroy something secretly and usually slowly. Unify. To join or bring together. Upward. Moving toward a higher point or position. Utilize. To use something practically for a particular purpose. Utterance. Something that is said. Vein. One of the little tubes that return blood from the body to the heart. Verbal. Using speech rather than being written. Vertical. A line going up, down, not horizontal. Viable. Able to be done, possible. Vitamin. A substance that is healthy for your body and can be found in foods or taken as a medicine. Abdominal. Concerned with the abdomen or stomach. Aggregate. A sum total amount of something. Algorithm. A step-by-step problem-solving feature. Altitude. The height of something above sea level. Analogy. Comparison of things based on their similarity. Antibiotic. Concerning medicine that is used to fight certain diseases. Antibody. A defense provided by the body against disease. Appendix. Additional information at the end of a document. Applause. The sound made by clapping a performance or speech. Arbitrary. Unsupported. Axis. A line about which a rotating body, such as the Earth, turns. Bracket. A 90-degree piece of metal used to support a wall shelf. Coefficient. A number multiplied by a variable in an algebraic expression. Composite. Made of more than one different part. Cone. A 3D shape with a circular base, a part of the eye. Converge. To come together. Convergence. Coming together. Cue. A word or action during a stage play to tell an actor to speak. Cylinder. A shape or object with flat circular ends and long, straight sides. Degrade. To treat someone without respect, to reduce in amount or strength. Delta. The place a river divides before entering a larger body of water. Deviation. Not standard or normal. In statistics, the difference between one of a set of values and some fixed value, usually the mean of the set. Diagnostic. To do with finding out the cause of a problem. Differential, difference, diversity. Diffusion, the movement of light in many directions. Dilute, to mix, to reduce in strength, concentration, quality or purity. Dominance, the state of being more powerful, successful, or important than others. Dye, a liquid that colors hair or cloth. Ecology, the study of plants, animals, people, and their environments. Elastic, able to return to original shape or size after stretching. Elasticity, the ability to stretch easily and then quickly return to the original shape. Embed, to place or set inside rock, etc. Enzyme, a protein made by cells. Epidemic, a disease affecting many people. Equilibrium, a state of balance. Erase, to remove written information or information on a computer memory. Fatigue, being very tired. Fungus, a group of plants that grow on dead materials and have no flowers, for example, mushrooms. Gram, a metric unit of weight. Hawk, a large bird that gets its food by killing smaller birds and animals. Incumbent, a person who holds a particular office or position. Inferior, not as good as something else. Intermediate, between. Ion, a charged atom. Kidney, an organ in the body that cleans the blood. Lateral, on the side, moving sideways. Mall, a large shopping center with many individual stores. Maternal, having to do with being a mother. Membrane, a thin covering of tissue. Messenger, someone who delivers a messages. Motif, a distinctive form, shape or figure in a design. Multinational, involving many countries. Mutation, a change in genetics, any event that changes genetic structure. Niche, a small area, a specialized business, job or activity. Nitrogen, a colorless chemical element without a smell that forms most of the Earth's atmosphere. Node, an intersection or junction point in a network, a part on a plant where a new leaf grows. Nominal, in name or thought but not reality. Nucleus, control center of a cell. Numerical, includes numbers. Nutrient, a chemical, food, that animals and plants need to live, develop, and be healthy. Offspring, the child of a person or the young of a plant or animal. Onset, the beginning. Optimal, best. Orient, to focus your attention or efforts on something. Overview, a description of the main features of something. Par, the usual amount. Paradigm, a set of ideas that are used for understanding or explaining something. Parcel. A package or box wrapped in paper, a thing bigger than a letter that is sent in the mail. Pest. An unwanted insect or small animal that eats plants or food supplies. Pesticide. A chemical substance used to kill pests. Plantation. A large area of plants, usually in a hot climate. Plausible. Being reasonable and possibly true. Pragmatic. Dealing with problems in a reasonable, practical manner. Precipitate. To cause to happen. Precipitation. Rain, snow or hail. Qualitative. Concerning how good something is, rather than quantity. Quantum. The smallest unit or amount of energy. Radar. A device that sends out radio waves for finding out the position of another object. Replicate. To repeat something, such as an experiment, study or process. Replication. The act of making copies. Reservoir. A lake, usually artificial, where water is collected and stored for the use of a community or industry. Scripture. The holy books of a particular religion. Sediment. The material that settles to the bottom of a liquid. Semantic. The different meanings of words. Shuttle. A vehicle that carries passengers or items between two places. Singular. One. Slab. A thick flat slice of something. Slash. To cut violently. Sniff. To smell by short intakes of air. Socialize. To teach people to behave in a way which is acceptable in their culture, to spend time with people. Static. Being unchangeable or unmovable. Surgical. Concerning surgery. Susceptible. At risk of developing a certain illness or problem. Swap. To trade or exchange. Synthetic. Not natural, made from artificial materials. Temporal. Concerning time. Thermal. With reference to some source of heat. Tolerance. A willingness to let people do, say or believe what they wish, without judging or challenging them. Tract. A large stretch of land. Trivial. Unimportant. Turbulent. Moving violently and unevenly. Undergraduate. A college student who is working toward his or her first degree. Unintelligible. That cannot be understood. Urine. Yellow liquid waste from the body. Usage. The way something is used. Valve. A device along a pipe that can either open and allow something to flow, or close and block it. Vegetation. Plants. Velocity. Speed in a given direction. Vocabulary. The words that a person knows. Wheat. A kind of grain that is used to make flour for bread. Whereby. By which, by that thing. Antiquity. An ancient period, something made a long time ago. Binary, having two parts, using only two numbers, 1 and 0. Chess, a game of strategy for two players. Chromosome, cell structures that carry the genetic material that is copied and passed to the next generation. Contour, the shape of the outside edge of something. Coronary, concerning the heart. Corpus, a body, in linguistics, a body of words. Deceive, to make someone believe something that is not true. Deflection, the action of making something move in a different direction. Denote, be a name or symbol for. Dialect, a way of speaking a language that is used only in a particular area or by a particular group. Discrete, separate, composed of distinct parts. Encode, to change a message or information into code. Epidemiology, the science of how diseases spread. Facet, a part of something. Fin, the flat thin body parts of a fish that sticks out and helps guide it through water. Finite, having limits, lasting for a limited time. Flux, a state of flow and change. Friction, the act of sliding two objects against each other. Hepatitis, a disease of the liver that causes inflammation, yellow skin and a fever. Induction, bringing about or causing. Invert, to turn something upside down. Irrigation, supplying land with water using pipes. Liter, metric unit for measuring liquid or gas. Locus, a place or location, in genetics, the location of a gene on a chromosome. Mentor, an experienced or wise person who teaches or helps another person. Mercury, a heavy, silver-white metal that is used in thermometers to measure temperature, a planet. Metabolism, the chemical processes of the body in which food is converted to energy. Mole, a small animal with dark fur that lives under the ground, a unit for measuring molecules. Neuron, a nerve cell, the basic building block of the nervous system. Notation, a set of written signs or shapes that are used in music or mathematics. Novice, a person with little or no experience in a particular activity, skill, or subject. Onwards, forward. Oscillation, movement from side to side at a steady speed, a frequent change in size, strength, or direction between two limits. Partition, a wall, screen, or piece of glass used to separate one area from another. Physiological, concerning how the body functions. Quiz, a game in which players answer questions on a specific topic. Radius, a given area or a range around a certain point, a line from the center of a circle to its edge. Receptor, a device that receives information, in physiology, a nerve ending that changes stimuli into impulses. Repertoire, a collection of skills or accomplishments. Respiratory, to do with breathing. Scroll. A long rolled piece of paper with writing on it to move up and down a computer screen. Secrete. To produce a liquid. Sensory. Referring to the five senses: hearing, sight, smell, taste and touch. Solvent. Something that dissolves or can melt another substance. Sperm. Male sex cell. Syllable. A unit of speech. Terminology. Specific words and expressions used in a particular field. Transcribe. To write something spoken. Vector. A quantity that has both size and direction. Yeast. A single-celled fungi used to make bread and beer. Amino. A substance that combines to form the structure of proteins. Artifact. Object made by humans, for example, ancient tool. Bilingual. Being able to speak two languages well. Chemotherapy. The treatment of diseases, such as cancer, using chemicals. Confound. To confuse and greatly surprise someone, so that they are unable to explain a situation. Dissection. The act or process of cutting something. Dissertation. An in-depth paper submitted for a doctorate degree. Entrant. A person who enters a contest. Fetal. Concerning a fetus, an unborn baby. Gradient. A measure of how steep something is. Grammatical. Concerning grammatical rules. Infinity. Without end, limitless. Innate. Present in a person or animal from the time of birth. Longitudinal. Going from the top to the bottom of something. Marrow. A soft, fatty tissue inside bones. Millimeter. 1/1000th of a meter. Morphological. The study of form and structure. Morphology. The study of the forms and structures of plants, animals and words. Neural. About the nerves or nervous system. Null. Having no impact. Optimum. The best or most desirable. Phenomenal. Unusual, remarkable. Phosphate. A salt or compound used to help grown plants. Potassium. A common, soft, silvery white metal that is usually used for farming or industrial purposes. Primer. A book that covers the basics of a subject, a kind of paint. Proton. A very small part of an atom that has a positive electrical charge. Soluble. Can be mixed with a liquid, for example, salt is soluble in water. Substrate. A substance which a catalyst or enzyme has an effect on. Subtract. To take away, for example, 20 minus 5 equals 15. Syllabus. The teaching schedule for a course in a school or university. Trajectory. The path followed by an object moving through space. Transparency. The amount you can see through something. Vowel. A speech sound A, E, I, O, U and sometimes Y. Watershed. A period of time during which important, significant changes take place. Algebra. Mathematics using letters and symbols in place of some numbers. Amplitude. The breadth, width or largeness of something. Biodiversity. The variation in an environment, the number of different types of life found there. Chloride. A chemical compound that is a mixture of chlorine and something else. Circa. An approximate time period. Consonant. A speech sound, any letter in the alphabet that is not a vowel. Cortex. The outer part of an organ or structure. Inversion. A change in position of things so they become the opposite. Lexical. About words. Multi. A prefix meaning more than one. Phonological. Concerning sound. Postgraduate. Graduate studying for a further degree. Sneeze. To loudly blow air out of your nose or mouth in a sudden uncontrolled way. Syntactic. Grammatical. Syntax. The study of a system, such as the system of words in a sentence. Theorem. A statement that can be proved. Aerosol. A container that sprays liquid under pressure. Axiom. A statement that is accepted as true. Calculus. A type of mathematics used for calculating such things as the slopes of curves. Capillary. Very small blood vessels. Comma. Mark showing a pause or list in a sentence. Congruent. Having the same shape and size. Denominator. The bottom number in a fraction. Equivalence. When something is equal to something else. Exponential. A constant e raised to a power equal to a given expression, for example e3x is the exponential of 3x. Helix. A 3D spiral shape. Herbicide. A poison that kills weeds. Semi. A prefix meaning half. Splice. Act of connecting two pieces of rope or wire into one. Connotation. An association, an implication. Descriptor. A label, something that describes. Oxidize. To convert an element into an oxide, combine with oxygen, to rust. Parenthesis. One of two symbols and, used in writing. Semester. Half a year in school or college. Trans. A prefix meaning across, through, or changing thoroughly. Volition. The act of making a conscious choice. Factorial. Concerning factors or factorials. Solute. A substance that has dissolved in a solvent and become part of the liquid, so that they form a solution. Mid. At or near the middle point. Airplane. A machine that flies through the air. Artwork. Photographs or pictures in a printed publication. Breakdown. When normal activity or behavior stops. Classroom. Room in a school where lessons take place. Feedback. A response to a message, information about a person's behavior. Footnote. Extra information at the bottom of a page. Halfway. A middle point between two extremes. Handout. A piece of paper with information, often given out before a presentation. Homework. Work that a student is given to do at home. Layout. Plan or design of something, for example, of book page. Lifestyle. The type of life that you have. Lifetime. The time between birth and death. Pathway. A path or way that you can walk. Rainfall. Water falling from the sky. Textbook. A book that is used to study. Uplift. To make someone feel happier or more hopeful. Wavelength. The size of a wave, a shared understanding. Widespread. Happening or existing in many places, affecting many people. Workshop. A brief intensive course for a small group, emphasizes problem solving. Anti. A prefix meaning against or opposed. Ex. A prefix meaning out of, from, or not. Micro. A prefix meaning very small, such as microchip. Neo. A prefix meaning recent or new. Non. A prefix meaning not. Pi. The ratio of the circumference to the diameter of a circle, approximately equal to 3.14. Pole. A long, narrow piece of metal or wood that is used to hold or support something. Pre. A prefix meaning before. Sub. A prefix meaning under or instead of. Super. Of the highest quality, great, marvelous. Headquarter. The main office of a company or organization. Identical. The same in every way. Descendant. A person considered as descended from some ancestor or race.
Well done. Please subscribe and watch our other videos.